And Job Finders is our sponsor. Thank you. That's Jeannie and Austin over there. We're going to hear a little bit more from them in a few minutes. And Michelle's here from Cumulus, our other sponsor. We have a few folks joining us on Zoom today. So just our housekeeping notes, you're muted. If you have any questions, put them in the chat, and you can unmute yourself when we do introductions. So with that, let's go ahead and start with introductions. Who wants to start? Gary, you want to start over there?
Sure. Gary Plummer with the Chamber.
Laura Beanhop, Career and Trade Schools Consultant.
We can go inside and out. Yeah.
Meredith Kruger with Respiro Spa.
Darcy Crane, Capital City Casa.
Christopher Scott with Farmers Insurance and Castaway County Western District Commissioner.
Good morning, Rochelle Weaver, Cumulus Media. Katrina Chin, Central Bank.
Dan Basil, All Helpers.
Frank Isaac, EV Rotary.
Angie Plankett, Olympic Exteriors. Deborah Marshall, Missouri Life Tourism.
Brian Bertzger, RG Shearing Associates.
Good morning and progress.
Good morning. Proud Chamber Ambassador.
Jill Allen, Fort Worth City Council. And Chamber Ambassador. Lori Stoll, Consult Network.
Derek Thomas, proud chamber member and city council 3rd Ward.
Lori Helsher, Ameren.
Kayla Keller, Halo. Ashley Timmey, Chamber Staff. Lori Pitts, Chamber Staff.
Melinda Switch.
Brian Crane, city administrator in Jefferson.
Molly Ryan, from City Jefferson.
Brian Holman, city attorney.
Ashley Wiskerton with JC Parks. Sherry Duckshine with Josh Tuesday.
Rick Lancaster with Rick Lancaster Council.
Gage Glass, County Hill Foster Care Administrators. Yes, that means
You're next.
Bob Gilbert, Department of West.
Austin Larson, Job Finders and Employment Services.
Jamie Ballard, Job Finders and Employment Services.
Mike Lester, City Council Ward 2.
Good. Is there anybody that's joining us online that wants to unmute and introduce yourself?
Jessica Tandia, the growth coach of Columbia.
Lorene Mall, Scholastic.
Anybody else? Go ahead, sorry. Anybody else want to introduce themselves?
Tiffany with Hope Heart Healing and United Financial Freedom Group.
Okay. All right, I do want to welcome new members. I don't believe we have any of those folks with us today. These are folks that have joined the chamber since we've been together last. Canteen Service, Top Nails, and El Punta Hispanic Ministry. So we welcome them to the chamber and hope to see them at a chamber event soon. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Jamie and Austin. You want to come up this way? And
Morning, Jeff City.
good morning. I'm turning the clicker over to you. Do you want the clicker? Yeah, go ahead.
Sure. So yeah, we're Job Finders. I guess we'll do an introduction. So I'm Austin Larson. I'm the Senior Staffing Advisor in the Jefferson City office here. Before that, I was 6 years in consumer finance. In 2021, I joined the company here, and staffing's been a much better fit. And who remembers that old show, How It's Made? You either found that very fascinating or you fell asleep. I found it very fascinating, so it's love my job, and it's been awesome. We mainly work in those light industrial manufacturing sectors. So.
All right, my name is Jamie Ballard. I'm the operations manager for Job Finders. I joined in Job Finders in 2018, and I left for a year, and then I came back in 2021. It was just a great place to work. Loved it a lot better than what I was previously doing, and been here ever since. So I'm going to turn it over to Austin. He's going to tell you a little bit about Job Finders.
In 1986, Anne Williams opened her first small office, and today that business has steadily grown into one of Inc. 5000's fastest growing companies. Anne and Job Finders have been recognized with honors such as Woman of the Year, CEO of the Year, and in 2012, Anne was named the SBA's top women-owned small business in St. Louis District. Job Finders has also been named top company in Columbia, Missouri, and has been awarded Reader's Choice Awards in several communities. ever-shifting market landscape that is staffing. So of course we have a lot of different options, and a lot of them end up being customizable, but temporary or contract, seasonal staffing, whether you need help for a few weeks, months, actually help during holiday seasons, busy periods, our temporary staffing services can help you with any hiring situation. We also offer a trial hire, so you can obviously trial those employees, see if they're going to be the best fit for your organization before hiring them directly. And then, of course, direct hire allows us to, of course, get to know your guys' companies and make the best fit possible. And save people's time, do resumes, interviewing, know how much of the time. Give some time on that. We're experts at finding candidates from entry level to C-suite and upper management, and then through that we offer the professional direct hire and 12-week direct hire as well.
Didn't have any questions for job finding?
What's a 12-week direct hire?
So it's basically just it's our professional direct hire contract. It's just modded for 12 weeks. It's just split out the payments.
So what we noticed the last several years is a lot of people are looking for employees after kind of COVID went down and was gone. They no longer are bringing in like a temp to hire, so they're not looking at temps. So what we did was we modified our professional direct hire to where now these individuals will actually come in and work for you immediately. So they'll never be a temporary employee. This allows us to find better candidates for individuals, and as we all know, a lot of times the temps have a habit of job hopping. So they'll come to us or we go looking for them, and we kind of split that fee up for 12 weeks. So instead of saying you owe us a percentage, then we break that fee up and say if they're there for 2 weeks and you decide that they no longer are a good fit for you, you would only owe us for 2 weeks versus the full professional direct hire fee. So it gives that opportunity for that employee to become a direct employee of that company instead of working as a trial to hire, so they feel more comfortable putting in a notice and going to a job that they know is more stable.
Okay. Well, oh yeah, go ahead.
So then do they start acquiring like benefits and stuff from that job at that time?
They would be any type of benefits that your company would offer just a regular employee, they would be offered those as well.
Anybody else? Well, I know you have a door prize to give away, so
Yes.
when I got the bag up there. And the door prize is Chick-fil-A, right?
Yes.
Okay, they're on that.
Stu Murphy? Is it Murphy?
Thanks to all.
Take that gift card, come in.
All right, here, and I can get the logo there. All right. I'll take one more. Good, okay, good.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, and thank you guys. Appreciate that sponsorship. And I will add, Job Finders, as part of their sponsorship, they wanted to give a little bit of their time to Halo. You might have noticed the boards when you came in. So I'm gonna turn it over to Kayla to talk a little bit about.
Good morning, thank you so much for your time. Thanks Job Finders for sharing some of your time with us. My name is Kayla Keller and I'm the Jefferson City Director for Halo. Thank you so much for just being here this morning. And if you're not familiar with Halo, at Halo we help provide kids that are at risk or struggling with homelessness, and we provide them with housing, healing, and education services, and help them kind of defy the odds and start saving money, finishing their education so that they can get on the right track to become contributing members of our community. And one of the great ways that they do that is through our Halo Makers program. Through the Halo Makers program, kids get the opportunity to make a product from start to finish. They get to see that their hard work, it's therapeutic for them because it's an art skill as well. And they, in the end, make these really incredible wooden trays that can be used for all kinds of other things. And each tray is handcrafted by the maker, and they've completed it from start to finish, from just a piece of raw reclaimed wood into something that's beautiful. And then each tray we sell at different Halo events and throughout the community, and those trays are $125, and then $100 from every board goes back to the maker. And it's put aside for their future fund, and they can use that future fund for things like housing, education, transportation services when they leave Halo. It's a nest egg to help them, because most of the kids that we get to serve at Halo haven't had the opportunity to have parents who provided for them something to help them get into college. We had a young person named Natisha who was able to pay for all of her books at Lincoln with the Halo Makers program. We had another young person named Diamond who was able to put a down payment on a vehicle so that she could get to and from work with the Halo Makers program. We've had other young people who've been able to put a deposit on an apartment or pay for daycare costs for their children. So all kinds of different things that are really tangible ways to make a difference through the Halo Makers program. So we're here today just to ask you to consider the Halo Makers program as perhaps you want to be a partner with us in this program with these incredible trays. They make really meaningful Christmas gifts to your staff or your team. They'd be a great closing gift if you have realtor connections and friends. And just every piece, not only is it beautiful and it's something that can be used in a statement piece in anyone's home, but every single tray makes a difference in the life of an actual person in our Jefferson City community. So we just wanted to tell you about this great program. If it's something that you'd like to connect with, learn more about, I'll be around afterwards, and also on your table, or probably in your chair as well, there was a piece of paper. My direct email is at the bottom, as well as a link to our website where you can learn all about the program and see the kids who have made these incredible trays and see photos of them start to finish. So thank you so much for letting me be with you today, and if you want more information, be sure to connect with me at any time.
Thank you, Kayla, and thank you, Job Finders, for them. Friday Coffee sponsors fill up quickly, and we're going to start filling up our sponsors for 2026. Rochelle, you want to give a little shout out about the sponsorship?
KPLA and Nash are two of the radio stations I represent. We talk to close to 200,000 people each week, get your message out. So if you're a sponsor of Friday Coffee, in addition to this lovely setting here, I'll craft you a 30-second radio ad and we'll run 25 ads on one of our stations to get your message out.
Thank you, appreciate that. I'm gonna give some quick announcements. First of all, a big thank you to everybody that participated and sponsored our chamber barbecue. It was awesome. We had a great networking, great event, and great weather. And you know, we didn't know, as a committee, we were watching that forecast every day. So I really appreciate my committee that helped us, you know, plan the event and put the event on. But we really appreciate that. Got some sponsors there listed. Colton's did a great job on our barbecue, so thanks again. It was May 1st, a little bit earlier this year because of conflicts. We had some high school graduations that would have been last week, so yesterday. So thanks to everybody that participated. Another networking event is Chamber Connections. That's always on the third Thursday. That's the 15th, and that's at Prison Brew. We're going to be out on the patio. It's with Acrisure, which is Rick and Julie Prather will be there along with their team and the folks from Cat Country. So I encourage you to come by, network from 4 to 5:30, bring your business cards. Prison Brew will showcase some of their appetizers, and there'll be beverages there as well. The golf tournament is our next big event. It's June 16th at Meadow Lake, and it's a wonderful opportunity. I'm looking around the room, people that are either whole hosts or sponsors or golfers. Encourage you, if you miss the opportunity to have a team, we are sold out, but you can still be on the course. You can have a whole sign, or if you physically want to be there, you can see like US Rented there, and you can be there greeting the golfers. We have 2 of those opportunities that open up. We only have 18, and we still have 2 of those available. Or if you want to provide a player prize, something from your organization, your company, we have prizes at the end of the day at what we call our 19th hole party. That you can participate in that way. Let's see, Ashley, are you going to talk? There you are, you were over here.
class. We have 1, 2, 3, and 4 online, the best class ever. I think I can say that. We're excited about hosting the 10th annual Battle of the Brews event. So that'll be Saturday, August 23rd at the JC Fairground. We've got our Facebook page updated and our Facebook event there, so keep that on your radar. If you're interested in sponsoring that event, I can take some information today and give you a sponsorship package from our committee. We have 2 wonderful organizations here in town that we're going to benefit with this event, but we haven't got them both confirmed yet. So I will tease you and announce that on our Facebook page probably later, either today or this week. If you have any questions about Battle of the Brews or leadership, I'll be here too, kind of hanging around. Did I miss anything? No? Did I miss anything? No. See, aren't they the best?
Okay, and with that, I'm gonna turn it over to Gary to announce the program for today.
Thank you very much, Susan. It's my pleasure today to introduce our guest speaker. We invited Mayor Fitzwater to do that this morning, but he had another commitment he could not get away from. So he gave me that duty, which I appreciated. I had the good fortune to serve on the selection committee and hired this gentleman a couple of years ago to come to Jefferson City as city administrator. He had a previous experience in that role, both in Old Summit and Overley. Actually, he hasn't passed, though. He served on the city council in Jefferson City 20-some years ago. Yeah, so he might tell you a little bit more about that today. Brian is a graduate of Elias High School, Lincoln University, and has a master's from William Woods University. He's a certified public manager through the Missouri State University and an International City Management Association credentialed manager, which demonstrates his commitment to excellence in public service. I just want to add one thing, that advocacy is one of 5 pillars in the Chamber's strategic plan, and we focus a lot of our time and effort at the local level, even though we follow state and federal issues that are important to the business community. We have our strategic partner here today for advocacy, and that's Bartlett West. Bob Gilbert, thank you for your support of that. We appreciate it. And I know Bob works very closely with Brian as well, and so we're glad to have you here for this presentation. So if you will just join me in welcoming the City Administrator, Brian Crane.
Well, thank you, Gary, for those kind words, and I really appreciate the opportunity to speak here today. We have so many wonderful things going on in this community, and it's just an honor and privilege for me to be a part of them. And it's really only been about 18 months to 2 years since I've been here, and just the amount of activity and opportunity that we have in this community is really special. And I just can't wait to start seeing some of the things that we've been working on for the last 2 years to start finally coming to fruition. And we're going to run through some of those. Just a little bit about myself. Yeah, I was here for a long time. My family moved here in like 81, and then I spent my whole life here until really about the mid-2000s, and then I was lucky enough to come back here and work for my hometown and an organization that I, in college, ran for city council and was able to contribute a little bit on the council for almost 6 years. So it's really neat for me to come back here, and it's something in the city manager field, you don't have a lot of opportunity to work for your hometown. So being able to have that is just, it's an honor for me, and hopefully ending to a career that I've been able to make a difference in the communities I've served. And that's really the goal that I've always had anywhere I've been, is just try to make it better than we found it. And you'll see you got challenges. There's sometimes the opportunities are really hard because of the challenges that face the community. So if you can just make it better, it might not be the best. I think that's the challenge, is sometimes we want everything to be the best and be perfect, and sometimes that's just not attainable, but so I think you're gonna see here where we're trying to make a lot of things better in our community. Just real quickly, I didn't mean to say anything about this, but this is just one way of us trying to revitalize our community, is to have a fresh, bold look. And this is a project that Molly spearheaded, our new logo. So I think it's refreshing, and I shouldn't say new logo, I should say our logo, because we didn't really have one before. We used our city seal on most things, and the intricacies of that seal and the way we were using it probably wasn't the best fit. So being able to put a fresh logo, really incorporating the river, the trains, and the dome, I think is a great fit. We thought we were gonna, I remember at the beginning of this project, we were like, is this gonna be a dome? And we really looked at different opportunities and different things, and we came up with a dome. But I like it. You like it, Molly? I like it. Molly likes it. So, this is a great week, and I don't think we planned it this way, but this week is local government week. And it's really since about 1985, nationwide, we've really picked that first week in May to recognize the people that work and do all the great things for our community. So we recognize them at the council meeting. And I've got 3 council members here. Councilman Derek Thomas, Councilman Julie Allen, and Councilman Mike Lester, that all recognized, they recognized our staff at their council meeting on Monday. So that was great to just say formally, thank you for all you do. But we wanted to have just a few pictures of people and the activities that we do across this town to make this a great community. And we're really appreciative of all the activities they do. Sometimes it's in the middle of the night, sometimes it's going into really bad situations. But they show up and they get the job done for us, to make us safe, to make us live in a community that we love. And this is just such a fitting end that I can talk to the chamber and the business community about how important it is for the people that serve in our community. And we had an appreciation luncheon this week and did that at Memorial Pavilion. And that was a great opportunity to recognize our staff, have a hamburger and hot dog, and we got to also do a ribbon cutting for the new Memorial Pavilion remodel. So if anybody has been there in the past, gets to come go see it, they did a great job, and hopefully it'll be an asset that our community can use for a long time. So you can just see a few of these pictures of some of the activities and some of the things that we do around the community. From an internal perspective, we just have a lot of people that do a lot of great things for us. Really, we're primarily focused on public works, planning and professional services. And then we also do, police, fire, parks, and then we have our administrative services. So we do a lot of different things. We touch a lot of different parts of the community and just try to make it a better place to live and work. I want to get into just a few projects. Now, we've talked about a lot of these projects before in various chamber coffees, so I know that there was some full deep dives into some of these projects. I'm just going to highlight them. But what I wanted to say about a lot of these projects is we're really focused on housing development, economic development, and working with strategic partnerships in our community. As I look through this room, I see a lot of different organizations that we're working with in some fashion, whether that's the initial phase of planning or implementation. We're going to go through a lot of projects. I'm going to try to point out some of the partnerships that we have when I talk about these, but I want everybody to realize that most of the things we do in this community, we do it with partners, and we try to figure out ways to work together to get common goals achieved. So you're going to see that in a lot of these projects. The first one is the river market, and Molly bet me that I would be way over on time, but I'm going to try not to do that. So I'm going to run real quick, but I would love questions if we have time. The river market is something that got born real quickly because we thought we were going to have a conference center at MSP, and we didn't get that project done. And then we shifted and we said, okay, well maybe the conference center makes more sense at a parking garage we have to do a demolition of anyway. So I'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. But we had this grant money. So we had some federal money, we had some state money, we had a little bit of local money, and we had some county money for a street on Chestnut at the MSP. And Ryan worked, for years with the state of Missouri to develop these, what we call like development agreements with the state of Missouri that basically said, if you do something with this land, you can have it. If you don't do anything with it, we're taking it back. So when we realized conference and doing something for us at that point was the conference center. It fell flat. And we, got together, talked to some community supporters, said, well, what can we do that achieves the goal of keeping this property? And we came up with a river market. A river market is just really a generic term at this point, but it's an activity center where people can have family reunions, it's a pavilion, you do barbecues, you can do programming. But we started that almost a year and a half ago to try to get that property saved on something that we worked really hard at. And if you've been out to that site, you see a lot of activity now. That site is set for quite a while, and it's in really bad shape. So we're trying to bring it back. The River Market is May 22nd, groundbreaking. So if you got a chance to come to that, Curtis Main Schulte got the contract for that. But it's almost a $7.5 million project between the River Market and the street that needs to be built. And of that, we're less than $2 million of actually city funds. The rest are other partners, like I mentioned, the county, the state, the feds. So it's a great opportunity. Plus we've got the health lab building, the state's building right across the street. And I think we've got even some more exciting things coming in the future. Conference Center, I hit on that. We shifted it down to Madison Street. I think if you read in the paper today, where was it tomorrow? It might have been today. But we asked the state of Missouri for $20 million to help us build that parking garage. That parking garage is crucial to the Conference Center project. So that's going to be a almost 40,000 square foot conference center space, about 204 room hotel, and almost 700 space parking garage. And we're really getting to the point where we're checking all the boxes and we're saying we've done all our due diligence, we think we know what it's going to cost, we think we know all the intricacies of that project, and now we think we've got the financing figured out. So we'll be taking that to the council in the next month or two, saying, hey, we think we've got everything figured out, so let's dive deeper. And you're going to see that deeper dive with a master development agreement that really tries to hone in on that project and keep it moving forward. And that's going to be transformational for our downtown. And everybody knows across the nation the challenges downtowns have. And you got to put $100 to $150 million project in your downtown that's going to bring tourists, activities, is going to be very transformational. The 179 bypass, this is a trail project where it's another partnership with the city and the parks. We do a lot of the engineering and design work for our park system to put these trails around town. So while it's a parks asset, the city does a lot of the behind the scenes work. That's going to take people that are using our trail system from having to cross over 179 at Edgewood. So it's going to, instead of going across that trail system, that busy intersection, we're going to loop around and come out right there by Creek Trail. So that's a cool project for us. It's going to make it safer for our community and just another asset. Monroe Street is another cooperative project between the city and the county where we're trying to improve some of the cliffs that we're sloughing off there right off the highway. So you'll see all that activity right now. We think that's going to be done midsummer. That's another one of those cooperative projects where we had a need, the city and the county work together and try to figure out a solution. And then it's going to have a new intersection there at Dunlop and some sidewalk improvements the next block. Capitol Avenue, this is a great one. This is a perfect example. When I was on the council in the mid-2000s, we were talking about how bad Capitol Avenue was and what could be done, and how we could get the Busher family to improve those, and how we could use the carrot and the stick of local government to get her to do something with those properties. And you can see we tried doing things over the years and tried being respectful of somebody's private property rights, but at the end of the day, it was dragging down that whole 2 blocks really of Capitol. Well, the city, 5 years ago, Ryan, really got aggressive saying, okay, now we got to acquire these. We've tried to acquire them, through negotiation, but now we're going to use the court system. So we acquired over 20 properties. The biggest one was Capitol Avenue Funeral Home, which was Busher Funeral Home. And we acquired it through the courts. It took a year or two to get them. We sent out an RFP to say, hey, does anybody want to redevelop these sites? Tell us what it takes, what you need from us to develop these sites. We are starting to see the start of actual construction work and cleanup work of that property for the Missouri Association of Counties. And that is the association that really works with county governments across the state of Missouri to provide advocacy, training, and all kinds of other things, Chris, right? I'm sure you have all kinds of activities that you're gonna get to use this facility a lot. Yeah, so that's gonna be cool. They actually lost their building across the street in the tornado in 19. They had to rent for a few years on Elm Street, and we're always trying to figure out a way to get back up here. And for them to commit to spending $3 to $5 million to remodel and save this building, to me, if nothing else came out of that acquisition, we're getting to save this building. And it was a big feat, and we were really worried about if we were even gonna get any proposals. So for them to save it and for the plans that they've produced and said we're doing, it's a big commitment for our community. The wastewater improvement project, these don't get a lot of highlights, but we're building new biosolids. The community voted on $44 million worth of bonds. Was it 3 or 4 years ago? 3 years ago. Yeah, so you're starting to see all these projects after they've been designed and approved get done. Another big project was in the Westview Heights area. And a lot of people don't realize this, but our sewer system is a regional facility. So we have a lot of customers that aren't just inside the city, they're out in the county as well. So we have a few big projects out in the county. And then we have a few big projects at our actual station. And that's gonna really make us meet the quality limits that we have that have been set by DNR. So all of those monies that we are paying off through those user fees, so people use that sewer system, they pay to do these improvements so we can keep the sewers flowing. Air traffic control tower is another really cool project. We knew, but once again, this is another one. 2005, when I was here, we were talking about how we're gonna replace this stuff. It was a temporary facility from the 70s? 73. They built it as a temporary facility, and we said, we gotta replace this. So fast forward to today, and we're actually under construction right now for that project, and it wouldn't have happened without Congressman Luke DeMeyer's active engagement in that project. He brought a lot of resources to us. We're building this, I want to say it was a $5 to $7 million project, I think. And 10. Is it 10? 10, okay. We've got like $500,000 local funds in this project. The rest are federal funds. So Congressman Luke DeMeyer, one of the biggest things he did on the way out was get this project done. He was able to come here and see this, and we're so excited for this facility. Derek serves on before he was on the council, served on our airport advisory board, so he knows all the stuff going on here. And this is gonna be great for the airport.
There was a project.
Yeah. The other one is Wildwood. This is another cooperative project. The extension of Wildwood Drive from Edgewood is gonna really open up development on the western part of town. We've already got one developer. So basically when I got here, we were saying we were gonna do this, and we thought we had the money kind of in place, and we really needed a project to get that reason for doing the development. And we had a developer that come and said, hey, I'm interested in this, I just acquired the land. I think some of it was even chamberland. And so there's another example of organizations working together for the common goal of improved development around our community. So the chamber acquired some property years ago along Edgewood, hoping for the development, and was able to sell it to a developer. The city was able to say, okay, developer, if you do this, we'll do these things, you do these things. And what they committed to was basically townhome duplex style is what it looked like, the first plan that's gone through our planning and zoning commission. So you're gonna see more housing on Wildwood Drive and a lot more land able to be developed. That's gonna basically pop out really close to Frog Hollow and is it Rock Ridge? Rock Ridge. That one is about a $7 million project, and I think local funds, we have about 2. And the county's most of the rest. And I just wanted to say, kind of back to what we were talking about, is how many priorities we have for our community. We talked about housing. Public safety's always been a priority in our community, and it's so good to see that we've kept police officers here. 2-3 years ago, we were down almost 15 officers. City council said, hey, we've got to recommit, we've got to do some more things, so they were able to find the resources to make those jobs better. The community voted on a 1/4 cent sales tax, and we were able to, I think today we're maybe down 3 or 4. But it was all about making that job more appealing to people that want to become more homeless. And we really struggled for a few years. But now we're able to say that we've really gotten that down into a number that works for us and allows us to provide those services. Economic development, we've talked about a lot of projects. We're gonna have a lot, this is just a teaser, we're gonna have a lot more things coming up with economic development that you're gonna hear over the next few months. That staff and our JC rep team and our local chamber is all really worked on to try to make some more projects happen. So we're gonna continue to roll out cool things that are going on in this community in the not so distant future. But if you look at, the cart facility that we just built, which is a rail terminal for businesses that can ship their goods or receive their goods through the rail, that's gonna be a really big deal. Unilever's doing a huge expansion right now. One of the things we heard from our economic development team is housing is so important to workforce development. And those businesses that hire in our community said, we need more people, but we don't have anywhere for them to go. And we've got to work on housing. Revitalization, just in downtown specifically, we're trying to revitalize not only Capitol Avenue, MSP, but even our downtown. They were just awarded a grant recently, a community empowerment grant. They're gonna be doing, over the next few years, really get engaged if you can on the downtown stuff, because they're gonna go through a strategic planning process and really try to map out what the future looks like. Homelessness, we brought together a lot of organizations that work on homelessness, either providing services or working with the community and trying to find solutions. So the mayor formed a committee, the council approved the committee to work on that. They're continuing to work on that. I see some members of that committee in this room. So what we found is we got a lot of resources, we got some gaps, and it's about trying to figure out how we can provide solutions that hopefully get people from homelessness to being productive members of our society. And I think we'll get there. I think there's unfortunately just things that are going to be a challenge for this community, and it's going to be the community support that really drives that engagement in that committee to figure out what those solutions are going to be. But we've got a group of I don't know, is it 20 different organizations? It's a big committee, and we've got not only government entities but private sector entities and then community members really working on solutions. The city partnered with this chamber to do talent attraction. So we were excited to see that the chamber also saw that we need to be trying to attract people to our community. So we said, absolutely, let's see how we can make that work. So that's a program that I'm sure the chamber's talked about in this setting numerous times, but it's something that we feel like it's important to try to be a partner and help provide resources to the chamber as they try to attract talent to our community. We're really working on culture and our workforce and trying to figure out ways to support them. And really, it is tough when you work for a local government and social media has taken such a turn to where you have people that all they want to do is wake up, go to their job, whether it's fixing potholes or responding to emergency calls. But it's really hard to get them to stay engaged and not get down on themselves when they see public comments being made by people in our community that are online. Whether they're from our community or from some other town, that's another thing we found is a lot of people like commenting on our town that aren't even from here, or might have drove by, but, you know, words matter, and when people say negative things about our employees, it really frustrates me, because I know that we've got a really good team that's trying to do the best they can. So we're trying to build them up, really let them know to just brush that off, you're doing a good job. Sometimes there's some valid comments that are made, and then we gotta chase those down, but for the most part, we got a really engaged workforce. These are the challenges we have. You know, we've got all these great ideas, all these needs, but the resources stay about the same. And rather than just carving up the pie and making one person's piece of pie a little bit bigger and somebody a little bit less, what we really try to do is use housing development and economic development to bring in more resources. That way the pie gets bigger and everybody's slice gets bigger. Because we understand that the idea of always getting more taxes is probably going to be a challenge. And sometimes those taxes go down, sometimes they go up a little bit, we can do more, but it's a balancing act for us to balance ideas with the resources. Recruitment and retention is still a problem with us. I like hearing from job finders about some of those solutions for businesses, and we've looked into a lot of different ways to try to recruit and retain. That was a little bit of what we did with the police retention, was really getting out and telling people what we offer. So we continue to keep an eye on that. Our costs are a real challenge, and I know that is the same for every business probably in this room. The inflationary factors that we're dealing with is really making things where we have to spread out the cost, or do less, or try to find more partners. But that's why we try to work so hard at finding grants and finding partners to try to achieve our common goals. So that's what we really try to do to overcome some of these challenges. Any questions? Was I over?
No, we did way better than I tried.
I had a couple questions. I know that the trail, bike trail, Greenway, you go across Stadium and then you go up Edgewood and you can go, and I can't think of the name of the street, but it's where Habitat for Humanity store is. If you go past that, then there's a trail that bypasses. Is that the project that you were talking about?
Yep.
Okay, so it's not anything more, but it's already there, it's been going for a while, right? But they're gonna make it better.
Oh, turn it wrong way.
This was actually if you don't mind, Brian, it was
Yeah,
actually five phases to this project that spanned 13 years. And so this section is actually the fifth and final phase.
Yeah.
So for that whole project, the 179 bypass trail would be complete.
Is there any, how is it gonna work from crossing Edgewood to that street?
Yeah, they're gonna do similar to Lafayette, the crossing that they did, kind of the raised, with the
Table.
Okay, I get you.
there. So it'll be an improved crosswalk there with the lights, in a little smaller grade table, kind of right at Lafayette.
Yeah, that'd be great. I know a lot of people have probably been very angry with me when I ride my bicycle across Edgewood, trying to make traffic.
And I might just mention not only that, but we're also starting, I don't know if you saw in the paper or heard, but we're starting the design work on really what's looking to be roundabouts at Creek Trail and Edgewood Stadium right there.
Mm-hmm.
That is just getting so congested and backed up. We did a study years ago. They kind of identified probably a couple roundabouts there would be the best solution. So we're really running the traps on that right now.
Okay. I got one more question. I heard on the radio today that Columbia, Missouri is supposed to now looking at a conference center. When we looked at ours and thought of this and everything, is there a role model or an idea of another area where they put a conference center? Is there any blueprint on what we're trying to do, what we're looking at, as opposed to another city that's done well with it?
Yes, yeah, and what we did, what we spent the previous year doing was engaging experts in the field of development for conference centers. Because we want, we have ideas and we have thoughts based on our own local knowledge. But what we do is we hire, nationally known organizations that come in and really test our hypothesis. So our hypothesis is, we need a conference center here. And then they say, well, we're gonna test that. Because the banks or the bonding companies that are gonna give you the money to actually build that, wanna say, okay, can this really make money to be built and pay us back? So they hire these third-party divested interests to come in and really test that hypothesis. What they said was, yes, you can do it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Other questions?
Oh, the attorney can't ask questions.
No question. So I think it's a pretty obvious statement, but it's true. So you know, guys like Brian and I and Molly and everyone that works with the city, you know, we're only here to serve the community. That's truly our only purpose. And part of serving the community is engaging with the community. And so what I encourage is, if there's something on this list that you're excited about, let your council members know about it. It's so easy to be negative and to complain, and we get lots of complaints, and some of them are, you know, frivolous. Some of them are legit, and we try to fix problems where they come up. But not often enough, people you know, don't engage for the things that excite them, that they're positive about, and so really encourage. If you see something that's going on in the city, you like it, you want to see it carry through to the end, you know, let your council members know about that, because a lot of times all we hear is negative. And you know, what's the saying, the squeaky wheel gets the oil. I would love the squeeze to be positive sometimes, and so that really helps, because we always know that there's two sides of every single story, and sometimes that one negative side is a lot louder. So I encourage, if there's something that you see that you're excited about, let us know about it, so that way we, you know, the people that are left to make the important decisions kind of know the thoughts of the entire community, and not just those who like to complain about things. So that's my only encouragement.
Kind of on that note, that and partnerships, the business associations are doing a street crew thank you. And Julie kind of came up with, we had Columbia come here for the downtown Main Street, and the lady from Columbia Main Street talked about what a great job our snow removal is, and it just bragged on it. Then we were at another meeting, and Julie mentioned it, so it came into this event that the downtown, the west side, and the east side of the chamber are all going to cooperate and physically recognize the street crew from the city and the county at an event on May 20. That's a tangible, they're gonna get a voucher for some free ice cream, and it was kind of Julie's idea to kind of spearhead it and move it on, but it came from several different places, so that's just an example of a tangible, positive thing, and I'm really excited the chamber is kind of able to coordinate that. Molly helped us get it together too, so yeah.
Absolutely. It's early winter, I believe, yeah. That, the question was, when is the Wildwood Drive? I'm assuming that's the extension project. We're hoping, early winter of that project, so January-ish. That is being completed by, I wanna say, is that Don Schneer's excavating? So a local company was awarded that bid.
So they could start working on housing next year.
Yeah, and in fact, that's one of those projects where we had to work together on that project to get that cost down. The developer that's building on that site had some rock they had to cut out to make that development go for them, while we needed rock for our road base. So part of that development agreement that Ryan worked on with their attorney for a few months was, okay, you do this, we'll do that. You give us your rock that you gotta get rid of, we'll take your rock and put it over here. So it's one of those give and take negotiations where we say, how can we get this project done? Chris?
I just want to have a couple comments about the capital area and the maps. So the Missouri Association of Counties is basically an association that represents all county level electeds throughout the state. And they require not only the funeral home, but there's a building back behind that they're wanting to turn into event space so that we can host meetings of, say, all the collectors from the state, or all the assessors, or all the county commissioners. Those meetings right now are being held at all different areas around the state, so we're hoping to help also bring some of that revenue back to Jefferson City by being able to host those meetings. They're also beginning planning and all in the remodel for that, and they're hoping to keep a lot of that classic formality that was in the funeral home when it was in its heyday. The stairwells, the ornate woodwork, all of that, they're trying to keep and maintain as much as possible. And the other interesting note is they found in the basement about 50, apparently they were floor model display caskets. So if you're interested in one, you might. We believe so.
Speaking on that note, Susan, we had an announcement about caskets. Do you want to do other announcements around that?
Thank you very much. Does anybody have an announcement that they want to make about their business organization?
Susan from Habitat for Humanity. Speaking of housing, we have a lunch and learn on Monday, June 2nd about land banks, which are ways to deal with vacant and abandoned properties. So if you're interested in learning about land banks and how it might help Jefferson City, June 2nd, that's a Monday, 12 o'clock at the Habitat office.
Capital City Casa, we have trivia night this coming Monday, so May 12th at Last Flight Brewing Company, and then just a few short weeks later, we have our golf tournament on Monday, June 2nd at Jefferson City Country Club.
Hi, I'm Sherry Doctorian, I'm from Teasdale, but I'm also the president of our local Zonda Club. And we have our Yellow Rose lunch coming up on May 21st, it's a Wednesday at Capitol Plaza. We do have tickets still available, we expect about 650 people, mostly ladies, but men are invited. And so if you need a ticket, see me or visit the website, we'd love to have you.
Once again, June 20th is the golf course at Oak Hills. It's the Mayor's Cup, and all proceeds will be going to the Parks Foundation, June 20th.
I also serve on the Show Me State Air Show Coordination Committee, and that is coming up rapidly, September 13th, 14th. And sponsors to help us pay for the aircraft, all the other services we have to provide. So any of you businesses that want a big old flying name, we'd love to hear from you.
Okay. Anybody else? Kit, do you have some? Me? June 12th? Oh. We talked about this at a meeting yesterday. See, it's amazing to be on a chamber committee. You haven't Susan to help you remember your So Wrestling the Warrior Project is introducing a new event this year called Bingo at Tiffany's. So if you've ever watched Breakfast at Tiffany's, that's the theme. Men are invited, but probably our target audience is women. Tickets are $60 a person, 2 for $100, table of 8 for $400. And each bingo winner will win either designer handbags, jewelry, gift baskets, spa packages, and so forth. It's the first time we've done it. It is Thursday, June 12th at Canterbury Hill Winery. There'll be some light bites and a drink ticket admission. But I think it'll be a lot of fun. And it kind of is kicking off some new events to perhaps take place of other events or just be new fun things to get people involved in the Wrestling the Warrior Project, which is a cancer charity. We work with the emotional and mental health side of cancer treatment for women and girls. Thanks for that. Yeah. Anybody else? Molly?
Please mark your calendars for July 3rd. It's a Thursday night. The city, we're going to be hosting a free community concert at our amphitheater. We've got a great 80s cover band called Members Only out there for people to come and enjoy our beautiful amphitheater. If you've never been out, just bring a lawn chair. We'll have some food trucks, and it should be just a great family-friendly time.
Awesome. And speaking of the amphitheater, go tonight, if you're looking for last minute day, Warren's playing there tonight if you want to, if you've never done. I'm surprised at how many people still have not paid tribute to that place. Very proud of the city for putting that in, it's very exciting.
Anybody else, or anybody online? I don't know, I'm not trying to. Okay, Frank?
Yeah, Evening Rotary's got a drive-through spaghetti dinner this Tuesday, 4:30 p.m. I'm sold out of tickets, maybe Darcy has some, or you can get them on Facebook.
All right, with that, you want to our next Friday coffee is June 13th, and it's at a new location. First of the day on Ellis Boulevard. I think I announced that was wrong last time, but same time, 9 to 10. And Gary,
We have a panel of area state legislators are going to be there. We'll be moderating a question and answer about the session that will be wrapped up before then.
if you haven't been to that location, it's the lower level, lots of parking, and it should accommodate this program, so appreciate them for hosting us there.
Will that be because we have new member orientation before?
Yeah, well, look at that, I wouldn't see why not.
The way I'm every other?
Yeah, we still do that every month, I think, so. All right, good. Well, thank you all for being here. Have a wonderful day. Wonderful Mother's Day weekend for everybody in